this is Melinda here at Mindy's Craft Shack. How's everybody doing today? Today we're going to be doing a monogrammed sign, and I've got my supplies out and I've got the signs that we're going to be using, well, the wood that we're going to be using. These are about 17 inches and the circumference is 17 inches. And I've actually got 3 of them here because we're going to stain it, paint it, and then put the decals on it. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got some newspaper here that we're going to lay out to be able to stain. I've got a rag to stain with. I've got Minwax wood finish, and this is Jacobine color. It's a real dark, rich color. I've got some gloves, a tape measure, my stencil brush, 2 just foam brushes for the paint, some tape to tape off with. I've got a Concord grape colored paint. It's just acrylic paint. It's quick drying. And that is Apple Barrel. You can get this at Walmart for like 50 cents. Then I've got this chalky finish white paint. I've got black. This is an indoor gloss paint. This is what we're going to do the monogram in. And then I've got my pen, my vinyl that we're going to put across the sign, and some contact paper to transfer the stencil onto. Now with this, what I've already done is I already went ahead and sanded it, and just with a sander, and then I kind of cleaned it up with a semi-dry just paper towel to get the sanding dust off. And what I'm going to do is just take this rag, dip it in my stain, and then I'm just going to stand up, and then I'm just going to start wiping it on here, and I just let it soak in. I go with the grain. This usually takes about 5-10 minutes to put on. The more coats you put on, the darker it's going to be. You can see why I have protection on the table here, because I get pretty messy with it. I'm just going to do like half of it. And then I'm going to take the dry side and just kind of wipe it down. Get off the excess there. And then I'll take and continue to just go along the grain there. And I just go in a back and forth motion. Really don't worry about the buildup on there, because we're going to go back like this and just wipe it off. And see how pretty that is? Just kind of soaks into that wood. I do the sides also and the back. Now you see why I wear gloves. Don't need my hands looking like that. So there you have it. There is the stained piece. Now you're gonna let this dry. I would let it dry for at least 24 hours. I usually wait 48 hours to let it dry. Now with this step, I take, and this is where the painter's tape comes in, and I tape off sections of the piece so I know where to paint, and I can paint a pretty straight line. So now what I'm going to do is take my tape measure, and I'm going to measure and make sure it's about 2 inches from the top. A little bit more up. There we go. There we go. And then same at the bottom, about 2 inches. Just about perfect. Perfect, 2 inches. And then this second piece here, I want to be about 4 inches. Actually, from the bottom of that. About right. And then this piece here, I just kind of butt up to that one there. And then this one needs to go down a little bit. And we've almost got it taped off. I'm a stickler for straight lines. Just something that I have to. If it's crooked, I can see it a mile away. And then I'm not satisfied until it's straight again. What is that, a pet peeve? It's one of my pet peeves. Alright, just a little bit more. Perfect, okay. And then this one, we're just going to butt up to that one. Like so. And then I'm just going to put some tape right here. So it kind of goes over the side there. Bit on this side, just so I don't paint over it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take our white paint, shake it up a little bit, and I'm gonna paint this area white and this area white. And just take my brush here. Now this is the chalk paint. Chalk paint, I really like chalk paint. And what you're gonna do is just take your paintbrush, go to the edge there, and pull it over. Be real careful. Try not to get over that edge. what I do, if you do, don't worry about it, just sand it a little and it'll come right off. And then if you need to, you can always go over it again with a little bit of stain on the side. If you don't want to do that, you can just go ahead and take your brush and paint on the side also. But I like to leave that side with the stain. There we go. And then I just take along and go the length of the board there. And then same with the bottom. You do that in white. Now these signs are going to go into my Etsy shop. And also, I'm thinking about also making a kit if somebody wants to make one themselves, making a kit and selling that on the Etsy site also. So both will probably be available. Those will be available starting on Monday, the sign at least. I still haven't decided about the kit. There we go. So while that's drying, I'm going to take my purple, and that's going to be in the middle. And I just put some down there, and then just do the same thing. Take it to the edge. You can use whatever color you like. The one we're going to be stenciling on is actually a blue. These make wonderful gifts for weddings, anniversaries, loved ones, or just somebody special. You can, use their letter of their first name and put their name across it. That would look real nice also. You can put the width of the lines as big as you want, as small as you want, whatever you like. It's your project. The nice thing about that stain is it kind of shines, or not shines through, but comes through that paint. So it almost looks kind of old looking and distressed. All right. And then what I'm going to do is just put on one more coat of the white, and then we'll put on one more coat of the purple. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and lift my tape here. My allergies are acting up. Sorry, people. Here is the one that I've already got the paint on and it's been dry. And we're going to add the stencil to it, and I've got that right here. I'm going to do a W, And I've already got it cut out and weeded. And so now it's just centering where you want it on the plaque here. And I'll try not to be too picky about where it is, but I want to make sure that it is level and even. So I'm using the edge of the stencil as my guide to make it straight. And then I'm just gonna smooth it down here. And this is just removable vinyl that I'm using as a stencil. So if you've got a Cricut or a Silhouette, you can just make your own stencils. Or you can buy your stencil. It's totally up to you. And then I just kind of take this and smooth it out to where it's going to hopefully stick to my wood. We want to make sure there's no open spaces there. Now this contact paper is actually paper that I got from the dollar store. It's just contact paper, and it's $1 for a roll. I really like using this contact paper. It's nice and cheap and does great with this vinyl. And so I'm just peeling the contact paper off the stencil here. And if it wrinkles in some spots, don't worry about that. It's not gonna hurt. You want to pull it up slowly, because if you pull it up too fast, you could take some of the paint off. So I try to pull it up kind of slowly. So I don't get that paint. I'm just kind of going here and making sure all this is laying flat. I want those edges to be flat. Like I said, if it wrinkles in the middle, that's okay. Just make sure those edges are down flat so that the paint doesn't seep through there. On the outside, it really doesn't matter because you're not going to be painting on this outside here. Just, you want to just worry about the inside. All right. Now what I do is I just take my black paint and I just put it, I gotta open this one. I just put it a little bit on the stencil part, making sure I don't get any on the wood. If you want to get a paper plate and put some paint on a paper plate, do whatever works best for you. This, I haven't had a problem with this yet, but that doesn't mean I won't in the future. So, and then I take my stencil brush and I just start dabbing it Make sure you're careful on those edges there, that it doesn't, sometimes if you don't get enough of the vinyl, you got to be careful because it can get on the outside. And then I just start pouncing. And this does dry pretty fast, so it will be dry by the time we're ready to put on the wording. I usually put 1 to 2 coats of this on. That down. Let me just grab a small brush to do like right here. Get those edges really well without getting on the outside there. That up there. Now I do take this off pretty quickly. And when you do, just be real careful, again, with the paint. Sometimes it will take up your paint color, and if it does, you can just go over it with a small brush and repaint over it. That would be fine. This is not usable again, so I'm just gonna cut it. Comes up a little bit more easier. Making sure not to let it drag on the wood piece itself. There we go. There you have it. The W is on. Hopefully, now it did say it's fast drying, so hopefully it'll be dry within the next 5 minutes. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to kind of clear this off, and I'm going to weed my saying here. I've got my pen, and I'm just going to take it and start weeding the vinyl. Hopefully I can go ahead and put it on there for you guys. Hopefully it'll be dry enough by the time I get this done. I just overlap that a little bit and press it down. And then what I do is go ahead and press it to the transfer sheet there. And again, I'm just using that dollar store transparent contact paper. To get that vinyl to stick to that. And see how it's just easily coming off of there. It's almost like peeling an apple. If you get some that doesn't come up quite right, you just push it back down with your thumb or finger, and if that doesn't work, take your scraper and just press down on it. So, there we go. It just does not want to come up. So let me go from a different angle. Sometimes that works too. And voila. making sure you don't. Now see, I've jinxed myself somehow. It's not wanting to come up there. I'm just going to put that on the table like that. Take this and just kind of help it along. There we go, just like so. So, this is what it looks like. If you can see that. It says Sunny and Ramona, and then I've got linking hearts there. And it doesn't look like that's quite ready to be put on. Looks like it still needs to dry a little bit. But, so I'm just going to show you about where I would put it. And I would go right about the bottom of this blue line and just across like that, and try to make sure you're like even on the edges there, about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. You just eyeball it, and that's what it would be like, if you can see that. But if I was to put that on now, it would not stick. I want to thank you for watching this video, and please don't forget to click the subscribe button at the bottom. Thanks, love you, bye.